The first presenters are Mai Thi Le and Le Con Huen. Their choice is theme 1. Please start.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming in today. So, let me tell you a true story about one of the most famous comedians in Vietnam. This is Hoài Linh. He is loved in the country by his hilarious punchlines and quirky personality. But I have terrible news. He's dead. Sad news, isn't it? This article went viral, and people were mourning and sharing condolences. But can you guess what happens next? Here he is, alive, beside the article saying he's dead. You might think that this is funny, but this is more of a serious societal issue. This case is just one of the millions of fake news items we are receiving every day. In an age where the internet is one of the main sources of information, people are at a higher risk than ever of encountering and sharing fake news. A study stated that over 50% of internet users in 24 different countries in the world use social media as a way for news. Here in this graph, we have Malaysia, Hong Kong, Ireland, and Sweden on the high level. So, have you ever read, believed, and spread fake news? And how did you find out that it was fake news? In the example we just mentioned, it was obviously fake news because you can't summon a spirit and make them take a selfie, right? Some of you might, but we mean in general. So, spotting fake news might be difficult because it is not always obvious like it was in this case.
So, how exactly does fake news work? Fake news tends to focus on trending and ongoing societal topics. You might already know it, but there has been tons of fake news about the COVID-19 situation since the day the first case was announced. For example, do you remember last year? Many people were posting things like, following the shortage of hand sanitizers and masks, toilet paper is apparently expected to run out. And as expected, the rumor took the internet by storm. People waiting in lines and fighting over toilet paper was not a strange thing back then. Some people even took advantage of it. They started stockpiling and reselling them for high prices, which was severely problematic. But it was later confirmed to be fake news, and things went back to normal shortly after. Fake news can trigger fear and anger in listeners or readers. In this case, people were already living in fear because of the COVID-19 situation, so they fell for this fake news easily.
So, when it comes to the spread of fake news, people would most definitely say that social media is the main culprit. But we don't think so. We believe that the source of the problem does not start from here. It starts from here. Nowadays, we use social media as a fast, efficient way to access information, but we don't have the ability to evaluate and differentiate what is true or fake. And this is the result of a lack of critical thinking education. According to the Media Literacy Index by the Open Society Institute, the top-ranked countries for media literacy are Finland, Denmark, Estonia, Sweden, and Ireland. So, what do they have in common? A high quality of education. In Finland, the government considers the strong public education system as the main tool to resist misinformation. Having said that, this is our solution for it, a critical thinking course.
So, this course will be offered in schools for teenagers. and in companies for employees who have a lot of exposure to the internet and fake news. It will be mandatory, but students won't be graded or evaluated because this is an open class to learn soft skills. It will last for 4 to 5 months, like a regular course. Students will have to take the course to get credits so that they can graduate. The content of the class will be based on basic logic, and teachers will be experts in critical thinking and combating fake news, who will have students navigate the flood of information they encounter on a daily basis. To be more specific about the teachers, they will be fact-checkers from tech giants like Facebook or Twitter. From their knowledge and experience of battling fake news, they can tell students what they do every day for a living and actually teach them how to do their job, therefore making them feel interested and engaged. The course will have students develop a critical mind to fight against fake news. Students will be taught about the definition and how to distinguish facts, opinions, beliefs, disinformation, and misinformation. Moreover, the content of the class will be about how to approach all the information they receive with a critical attitude. For example, before believing any information in an article, students will learn to ask questions such as, who is the author and publisher? What are their credentials? These questions are to determine the authority of the article. Or, when was it published? Has it been updated recently? This is to clarify the currency of it. And, is it supported by evidence? Does it have a bias or have too many opinions involved? This is to clarify the accuracy of it. In addition, students will learn how to use fact-checking sites such as factcheck.org, factscan, or fullfact.org. The sites are well known for their neutrality, and some of them even partner with the tech giant, Facebook, to combat viral fake news.
So, you might think, oh great, class again, boring. But in our course, this is not just a dry and direct knowledge class. Students will be playing games and taking quizzes to learn how to spot fake news. And this will be the basic format of the quizzes. Students will look at the titles and identify misused images. When they look at the pictures and the titles, what comes up in their minds? They are going to use all the questions they learned to identify the authority, accuracy, and currency of the news. Moreover, students will be divided into groups and create a fake article about a topic and make the other groups to find it among legitimate articles. In this way, students can utilize what they learned to analyze data and ask questions before believing anything on social media. Furthermore, students can ask teachers for advice whenever they have any problem in understanding, which creates a friendly and encouraging learning environment.
At the end of the course, students are expected to be able to tell the difference between facts, opinions, and fake news, understand strengths and problems of news delivered by social media, and comprehend how fake news develops and sharpen their thinking skills. The internet has become one of our main sources to keep updated, but we have to be aware of what we are receiving from it. The fake news situation is getting worse due to the expansion of social media. But if each individual can actually put effort and learn how to stop it with critical thinking skills, then someday we'll be living in a society with no fake news. In conclusion, fake news is made by humans.
So only humans can detect and tackle it in the most effective way by taking our critical thinking course. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, presenters. Now we're going to have the question and answer session. Judges, please.
Okay, thank you very much for your nice presentation, very cheerful and interesting. Thank you. And I have a question. It seems like your program has the core of it is to invite an expert from like Facebook and whatnot. But I wonder how necessary and effective it would be, because what you spoke about was quite basic. And I think like teachers might be able to do that as well. And I wonder how realistic it is to like, invite them to all the schools, and also if they are effectively, able to teach people. So how often do you want them to participate, like experts, and what are the benefits that you expect from that? Thank you.
Thank you for your questions. Of course, as we mentioned in our presentation, the teachers will be fact checkers from tech giants like Facebook or Twitter. The reason why we don't want to use regular teachers, because the fact checkers, they are really experts in what they are doing. It takes them a lot of time to get to where they are today. So they know really well what they are doing, like battling fake news. They know how to deal with fake news more than regular teachers. And that is the reason why we want them to teach the students, because in that way, they can tell the real stories of their work and how to do their work, how to do their job. Therefore, like making the students feel interested and actually engaged. And after that, when the students have enough interest in battling fake news, they can actually take extensive courses to become fact checkers themselves. In this way, it will create a win-win situation where it benefits both the fact checkers and students as well. Thank you.
And thank you. We have one more question from our second judge.
Can I ask you a very basic question? What is news in your mind?
What is news?
What is news? What makes news?
Yeah.
Just facts or facts plus something?
News is all the information that we can approach in both internet and the normal newspaper, about all the information about the life, the daily life, or some special fields like science or more than that, that we can approach easily by internet or newspaper.
You mentioned facts, opinions, and fake news at
Yes.
one point, which I thought was an interesting comparison. So what's the difference between opinion and fake news?
So, opinions is when you give an opinion because you are not sure about the information. So you're just like, oh, this is just my opinion. I don't know if it's true or not. This is just my opinion about this topic. I don't know if other people have to think about it. But fake news is what they force people to believe, because they don't state in the article that, oh, this is just my opinion. They say in the article that, oh, this is true. You have to believe it. They give information without any backup evidence or anything else, but they say that it's true. So
Sometimes opinions masquerading as facts, right?
Yes, because opinions is like when you look at a situation or a story, and then you express your own feelings, your own thinking. But fake news is like you create a news, and you don't have any evidence or bias or don't have any backup evidence, but you force everybody to believe you. So that is fake news. And opinion is just you read something or you know about something and then you express your own feelings.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you, judges. Now we're going to have one question from the audience. The question is, from which countries would you like to introduce this program?
So at first, we want to begin this program in Japan because critical thinking education is something that's very familiar to children and teenagers and people in some Europe country, but it is very new thing in Japan and developing countries. So I think We want to start this program in Japan first, and then if it is if it can make efficient to another countries, developing countries, so we want to develop it more and more over the world.
Thank you. And actually, we have time for just one more question, if you don't mind.
Okay.
The last question
Yes.
from the audience is, how much does it cost to take this program?
So, okay, about the money. Sure. We are thinking about twice, 2 times a week. The class will be 2 times a week. And in Japan, I mean, we can't really say the money if it's in another country because, yeah. But in Japan, we are thinking twice a week. The class will be twice a week, and it will be 3,000 yen per hour.
Per hours.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, presenters. Wonderful presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much.